welcome y'all.
Welcome.
You are tuning into Taser's featured stream of the Gold League. This is week 7 matchup between Incompetence Paper and Incompetence Scissors. We got Brian Childs and Seth Searcy here. Seth, what are you looking forward to in this match?
Well, Brian, looking forward to a lot of things. First of all, I think it's going to be a close one. Both these teams, bunch of up and coming players. They're both really close to each other on the standings too. So we got some playoff potential.
There are some definite
There's some
playoff
playoff
implications
potential.
going on tonight.
Yep.
And it's kind of interesting when you look at it because we had, when we asked people before the season, where do you think these teams are going to end up? Most people had them in the top 4, but I think they had it flipped. I think at this point, we would have expected Scissors, which is Luke Marshall and Ethan McWhirter, to be in the 3rd spot, and Paper, which is Nick Rushing and Josh Weinbach, to be in 4th, but it's actually flipped. And so it really all kind of rides on tonight's game.
I agree. What is it? I think Paper needs to get at least, Scissors needs to get at least 5 points to have a chance to take over the 3rd seed.
Yeah, so we'll talk about this a little bit more in depth later, but as it stands, Incompetence Paper has clinched playoffs, and if they want to stay in 3rd, all they need to do is take 2 points from tonight's matchup. So as long as they either win one of the matchups, even if it goes 3 games, or if they lose both series, but they take them to 3 games, either way, they clinch that 3rd spot, and so they're definitely in the driver's seat here.
Sure. Definitely looking to start out strong and we get those first 2 points right in the beginning.
Yeah, I think
they're a team that can definitely do it.
They definitely can. They've had some high highs this year, but they've also had some low lows in the league, and so I'll be looking for them to show a little bit of consistency. But again, if they get those 2 points that they need, Scissors. If Scissors is able to play well in this first series and prevent Paper from getting those 2 points they need, I think we'll see their confidence grow and hopefully have a really exciting 2nd series here. Now, what's important for our viewers to know here is this is the last game of the week of the regular series, and so or the regular season. And after this, we'll have playoffs. Playoffs, however, will be the North Conference and the South Conference coming together. And so even if Paper is able to clinch that 3rd seed here, both teams will have a lot to play for in that 2nd series, simply because they'll want to avoid they'll want to get as high of a ranking as possible.
Avoid that 1 seed.
You got to avoid the 1 seed. You got to avoid Spider-Verse. That's Rahul Murthy and David Louis. For those who don't know, definitely the most dominant team in the Gold League. Correct me if I'm wrong, Seth, but I don't think they've dropped a game so far.
That sounds right to me. I don't know for sure, but imagine anyone taking one off of them.
It's been utter domination and the absolute team to avoid. And so you'll see both these teams fighting for every last inch.
Bro, young hairband or no? Oh, yeah.
All right, looks like warm-ups have concluded. I think we'll be starting here pretty soon. But Seth, who do you think takes this first series?
I got my money on Compton's Paper. Not gonna lie. I think they're gonna start out more consistent, hitting more serves, and it's really a game of who's hitting more serves. I feel like
Luke won't miss
No,
a
it
serve,
absolutely-
guaranteed. For you, Seth.
I like to see that confidence from Ethan. But I think you're right, Seth. I think it's definitely going to be a game of serves here. And not necessarily who gets the most aces, but serve percentage. Incompetence Scissors comes into this game with one team serve percentages in the league, and that's what should be one of their strengths, which is defense. And so, and you really see shooting themselves in the foot. So I would
fine.
love to see them give themselves a shot, and with a lot of rallies and a lot of points that are played out.
Right, so it looks like we got Ethan lined
Hey,
up.
y'all
to
call
take
me
the
if
first
you
serve.
need something, guys.
Sounds
Answer it, bring it over to me.
Right, so Ethan's lined up for the first serve, and I think Josh receiving seems like a good idea. He's really used to receiving Ethan.
both Nick and Josh have service stats in the Gold League this year, both hovering around that 10 spot.
They opt to play rim.
Oh, just a roll up. That's good. I thought that it looked like it. See if they can get started early here. I like to see Luke's fakes there, but again, he's got to build some consistency, get those serves on the net, test them early.
I'd like to see Josh get a good ace right off in the beginning, build up his confidence.
Yeah, definite lip there. Be interesting to see. Josh and Nick are also a very strong defensive team, and so another one that you'd hope they prioritize their percentage on. But again, we've seen nothing but unclean serves here. Even the 1 point that played out was a lip. But I think a common theme here in the Gold League, teams get warmed up that first.
Definitely.
Yeah, that first game has always been a little bit rough.
Rotate.
I think we've done the circuit. Nick rushing. I really love Nick's kind of step back jam. He doesn't always go for it, but it's a really tricky serve to receive. Goes for the angle.
Good quick set by Ethan. Not the best, but it was at least close enough.
Yeah, I'd want to see Luke do a little bit better there. He's a strong hitter, but I would expect him to take that. Good confident lip call there from Luke. For a second, I thought he was playing that, and I was like, oh man, interesting technique.
Quick 1, 2, 3. I think
I like the idea though. I don't mind getting it on early game. People aren't necessarily warm. Let's see if they'll make a mistake.
Do you think it's going to be hard to drop for Luke to drop paper? They both, like, Nick lines up pretty close to the net on receive, and Josh is just so quick he can get to most of them. And I know dropping is a big part of Luke Marshall's serving game, but we'll see how it goes.
Absolutely. Josh Weinbach to serve here. He's got an interesting cut. You can see he makes contact with the ball very high, which is a challenge to avoid that back lip. But when it hits, it can take a lot of people from surprise because it's different than the way most people serve, at least here in Texas.
This is true. He's even told me he's been working on some new things, so we'll see.
Ooh. Opts to play.
Strong
it's an
left from
interesting
Nick.
choice. Really strong left. But it's an interesting choice by Nick there because Ethan hasn't gotten a serve on yet and still opted to play. But again, confident in their ability to do 1, 2, 3, and they did. So big serve. I really hope. Oh man, I really want to see that step back. His step back jam. It's so nice. Now, Seth, you play with Nick a lot. Do you know if there's a particular reason why he's tended to move away from that serve?
I don't know. I think he might bring it in later throughout the series. If he can get Luke and Ethan to get used to his step out and then just all of a sudden start
Oh,
stepping
I think
back, it can
we
be
had
pretty
a
deadly.
disagreement there. I jumped the gun on the score. It's like an obvious flip to me. That's a strong serve receive from Ethan, though. Love to see that.
Oof,
Really, really good serve there from Luke.
very powerful serve.
And that's what Scissors is going to need in this game. Because if Luke can get hot, I know when we played him earlier this year, he ripped off 4 aces just back to back to back. Went righty cut, lefty cut, righty cut, lefty cut. And I mean, it's demoralizing. It's the type of runs this team can go on. But unfortunately, I think for them this year, those runs have been too far. Oh, too far in
Very
between.
wide.
And man, I don't think Josh liked to be talking about Luke's serves there. We'll clap back.
He did not. I think he's gonna go for a lefty.
Oh man.
I don't
Got
know
a
if you
touch.
noticed, but Josh kind of did this thing where he
That's a touch from probably 25
leaning.
yards off, bro.
Nick wanted him to be made known that he's an absolute athlete. Gotta respect it. What were we saying though, Seth?
Yeah, so on Josh's last serve, he kind of was leaning. He kind of seemed off balance on it, but he tended to get a huge angle, and that's what he's been working on. And I mean, Luke really amazing receive, so we'll see if he can keep that up.
I like to see that from Ethan opting for a push on his second serve there. Hit really low, but again, gave him the opportunity to play that point out.
Nick isn't hitting more serves. Usually his serve percentage isn't too bad. It's actually pretty high.
Yep, I think he's been I think he's been in the 70s percentile wise this year. Nice serve from Luke too. Oh,
Yeah, this is really going to build his confidence going into the future games.
that's an absolutely delightful little drop. You love to see that. Ooh,
Works
drop back to
once,
back.
not.
I think that speaks for itself as where his confidence is at. See, there we go. That's a 4-point swing right there, just on his service run, and that's what they need. That's what they need. It's a great performance by Luke there. So looking at this matchup over the course of this whole season, Paper has been far more consistent than Scissors. They've really been hovering as far as their collective RPRs around like the 90s. They've been really strong, high performers,
Solid RPR.
top 10 players. They had one kind of lower week that's actually even just dragging them down, but besides that, they've been very steady, which is in stark contrast to Scissors, who has been much more erratic. And And so it'll be really interesting to see the team that shows up today for Scissors. But so far, I think they'll be happy with their performance midway through for this first game.
Ooh, great serve from Josh.
Oh yeah.
6 there.
What
Great
a set. Oh man, that was a great set by Josh there. He made that look so easy.
Nick all the time he needed. He could have had a better shot on net. It went right into Luke.
And but that was still a challenging get by Luke. I think a lot of players when they're running back to the net from so far, I think, oh my gosh, and an ace from Ethan. Huge
That's the
ace
kind of serve
there.
Ethan's looking for.
Yep,
If
nice
you
and
can
low
keep
and
that up,
hard.
they're so low, and it's very difficult to receive.
I think Ethan's trouble is he's going for that really low hard shot like we saw, and when it comes off, it's great. But if it doesn't, there's just a really high likelihood that it doesn't. And I think we see that play out in the fact that he actually has the lowest serve percentage on in the league, and it's really down to him choosing that higher, that riskier shot, higher volatility. But here to serve, Nick Rushing.
Yeah.
Was that? Looked like it was a rim to
me.
me.
It's kind of an
We're
awkward
having a
backhand on Ethan's part, so I could see. Yeah.
It was. I would have liked him to move his feet a little bit, but looks like we might have a redo. Yeah, Scissors is arguing that it was a roll pop. Paper arguing it was a rim. Looks like it'll be it was a redo first serve. So second serve to Nick Rushing. Nice, strong.
Looks like a whip.
Oh, it did. It got moved to the spring though. So we still have
I don't know. It was iffy. I could definitely
about.
see a lip, but looks like we're gonna redo that again. This should be second serve.
Ooh,
That was
okay, that looked exactly the same as the last one.
Sometimes you just don't want to argue for it twice, I suppose.
Wow.
Say it ain't so. This is a huge moment for them, because if they can steal this right here, that's a huge harbinger for the rest of this series. Oh my gosh. And when Luke's lefty is on, it is so hard to receive him. Fakes right and left so quickly. When it's on, you just, you feel like you don't stand a chance.
For the drop, that was a good idea. It's just hard to know where to stand against him.
Yep. If he keeps getting, if his serves on keep being this successful, he won't even mind those double faults.
Don't know what that was, but
Ooh. Hard angle for us on this one. What do you think on that one, Seth?
Looks like it clipped it. I think I saw it clip rim, but
yeah,
it is hard for us to see.
Ooh.
Wow. Okay, Incompetent Scissors is ready to play serve ball.
Yes, they are.
I missed a couple in the beginning, but now they're just hitting everything.
Man. And honestly, you love to see Ethan get those serves on, because his serve, he's worked so hard on that serve over the past 6 months, getting it more consistent, getting more angle on it, and to see that success early on is really awesome.
definitely changed it. He's been trying new things.
Man,
It's not the same serve that we're used to. And Josh, that could be a reason why Josh is struggling a little bit.
that's true. That's definitely true. All right. Yeah, Josh and Ethan, of course, teammates on the UT Roundnet Club, so very familiar with each other's game. But yeah, it's been a long time since people have been together on campus. A lot of time to work on the easiest thing to work on in quarantine, which is that serve.
A lot of time practicing in your garage or backyard or wherever, just like away from. You don't need like anyone else to be there to improve. That's what a lot of these guys are doing.
That's right, and I think when you look at the game and kind of the big moves that have been made over this quarantine, we've seen not the emergence because it was there before, but we've seen the proliferation of the reverse cut. I don't think anyone playing today has it, but a lot of players in Texas, a lot of players nationwide, kind of went into the quarantine without it and came out of the quarantine with just some nasty reverse cuts. It makes me scared for whatever happens if this whatever serves might come out the next time this might happen. Hopefully it doesn't, of course, obviously. But yeah, if we ever have a stoppage of play again, man. Yeah, that's a tough one to lose. Game point here for Scissors, with a 5-point lead. You'd think they'd be able to hold on to this.
I think so. Definitely.
Oh, good positioning there. You'd hope Luke would see Ethan drop down there and give him some space, but unable to get that set off the body defense. Good serve on. Oh, I think we've got a touch net there.
They have a chance. And if there's one thing I know, they definitely touch the net. One thing I know about this Incompetence paper team is that they can be really clutch.
Not quite enough this time. As
from Luke, and there's really nothing they can do.
21-17. Yeah, that's gonna be good.
Seth, I think you mentioned it before this game started that the key here would just be serve who would come out serving the better, and honestly, I think that was the story of this game. Whether it was ace percentage and serve percentage, it all went Scissors' way.
And so, like, yeah, the game was definitely determined from that.
I'm a little bit surprised that Paper. I'm a little bit surprised that Paper wasn't able to right the ship there, because where they're strong is they offer really excellent defense. We saw them run down a couple ones there, but they really didn't give themselves enough opportunities. And I was thinking that maybe midway through that game they might take a little off the serve and try and play some more points out. But what do you think will be the keys for them in the second game?
I definitely think. I don't know, actually. Like, I don't know if they should take off the serve because no.
It's definitely a risky proposition. You take a little bit off the serve, you make it that much easier to play a 1-2-3 out for the opposition. But it's that fine balance between getting your serve on and giving yourself an opportunity to play, or just relying purely on aces.
just need to find their groove. Maybe play more pockets on the first serves, and just like take points where you can, and try not to just like serve receive.
Yeah. I think
not really making mistakes. It's I don't know.
And I think we've had a pretty good view on a couple of these aces, particularly some of Ethan's aces, and you can just tell that they're unfamiliar with receiving him. Like you said, it's like they put their hand there and it would just fly a couple inches below or a little bit to the right, and you'll have to think that they'll get more used to that as the night goes on. Hopefully, they'll be able to get a few more of those back.
And even if it's not the best touch, I know that they're really good at getting it back to the net and still having a really good shot on just those no-touch aces that like they're deadly. Deadly.
They are, and if there's one thing that they absolutely need to fix, it's eliminating those no-touch aces. You can't win. It's gonna be really hard for you to win a game around that if you allow. I think they had something like 7, maybe even 8 aces in that game, and
sounds right.
yeah, if you're paper, that's probably 4 or 5 too many to have a realistic shot, especially if you're not getting that many aces yourself. And one thing I would like them to see a little bit more is I'd like to see paper put their serves on a little bit more against Ethan. If you look at the league, Ethan has had more breaks than Luke, or he's been broken more times than Luke this year, and I think they should lean into that. They should get their serves on there, and force Ethan to play it out cleanly. But like we saw in that first serve, getting an ace against anyone works just fine too.
Yeah. Now, even if they're not breaking Ethan, his putaways on net, shots on net, I think are more readable and more defendable, especially with Josh being really familiar with his play style.
Absolutely. Again, another strong serve by Ethan there. Now, Seth, to you, did it look like there was a little bit of movement on that? Could that have possibly been a side pocket? Or was it just a little bit of a cut that didn't go wide? Another ace, wow.
I think it was just a little bit of a cut. He's really been trying to get his serve to cut recently more than it has been. I think he's got it down for the most part.
Well, he's definitely doing something right. He's getting more aces and more serves on than he typically has been. So, oh man, that's a phenomenal set and such an easy put away.
And that, I mean, that was a good serve from Josh too. So hopefully he can keep his head up and don't deter him too much.
It's a very confident hit from Luke. I think that just speaks to his experience. This guy has been in a lot of different situations, and he was just unfazed by that long set. Goes for the lefty and no good with the rim. I like that though. I think it's important for Luke to not just fake left, but to also put some of those, even if they don't go on. It makes your receiver think.
He's really swinging for these. He really wants a bad touch from Ethan. He's not going to get one.
And a nice wrap. I think the hard part for Nick there is he approached the net so early that by the time Ethan was actually hitting the ball, he'd had a good second or two to actually see where Nick was positioned, and he could just put it to the side of him. And he was so close to the net that there's just no way you're going to be able to react to that
good, confident hit from Ethan. He knew exactly what he was doing with where he wanted to put it. Kept it low.
Absolutely. And with this team, so much of their play is confidence. Their serves are on. The rest of their play is looking on too. If you're nicking Josh, it's got to be a little worrisome right now. Ethan here to serve. Let's see if he's got another one of those cut serves in his bag. Hard rim. Nice serve. Handled well, though.
That hit good, or?
It sounded bad, but Ethan's not moving, so.
I swear it hit the rim.
It looked like it. Must have been a roll pop, though. Ooh.
That's the type of serve Josh was looking for.
Absolutely.
And he's hyped.
Man,
We can hear him.
He should be hyped. He should be. I used to make fun of Josh so bad because he would go an entire game faking left and not hit and not even attempt the lefty serve. And so to see him not only put one on, but to get it that wide is that's fantastic. Serve on. Oof. Forcing a hard set there. Just like that, a couple of breaks and Papers flip this. They're now in pole position. They have advantage.
Maybe should have played that, considering Josh is on a run.
Yeah, it definitely looked playable, but the only thing is I think that's looking into the sun if I'm looking at those shadows right. He may not have felt as comfortable. And hey,
It's a good point.
it's a strong hit from Luke. Really strong hit. I think he caught Josh in a little bit of no man's land there. His feet weren't quite set, and it's really hard to make a defensive play when you're not quite deep enough, but also not close enough for a body. Especially with a set that's off net like that, Josh would probably want that one back.
That looked different.
I'm telling you, I love that. I love that serve. I love that serve. That step back. I guess it wasn't even a step back as much as just lifting his leg up, but I like that serve of his so much better than the. Oh, they opt to play it.
Wow. And that drop just went so low and so fast. I'm surprised. Like, Luke really had to lay out to get it.
Really did. Man. Which says a lot because Luke is a very quick player, and so the fact that he had to lay out to get to that drop tells you how good that deception was. Those last 5 points there were crucial for Paper.
Yes.
They went into that, or I guess 7 points or so. They went down to it 4-5 and have come out with a 2-point lead. A good break from Ethan, though.
That's what they needed. I was gonna say this is the time for them to bounce back.
Man,
it's like the 4th time Josh has been kind of hit the ball down on his serve receive. I don't know if he needs to do something different. Just like the way he positions his hands when receiving Ethan specifically really make a difference.
Well, I think I think that is the exact reason why Ethan goes for such a hard serve is he makes contact with the ball so low so that when it comes off, it's coming off lower than people expect, and it's hitting Josh's hand, going straight down. And on a day like today, when Ethan's found that serve, that quality serve percentage, we're seeing just how lethal it is.
right?
Great defense. Oh man.
I do not know what they called.
I have no idea what that was. I was about to say, oh, great read by Ethan.
Maybe Nick kicked the net.
He must have. He must have. Didn't look like a carry from Josh. So, but hey, just like that, it's 10-10. So we enter the second half of this game. Confident play.
Classic Nick on too.
I know. We haven't seen much of that this game. I was waiting for it.
It was a good time to bring it out.
It was punish a bad drop.
Especially after his last hit or whatever happened on that last point. Went straight to Ethan. Like, good for him to get a good hit on that.
Let a little bit of that let a little bit nervous energy out. Double fault from Nick. Ethan to serve. Let's see. He's had a very good serving day so far, and doing it with a variety of serves as well. He's got that cut as well as that low jam in his locker. Goes for the jam again.
Wow.
And you can see why Nick has a little bit of hesitation there, because it's not quite like cut with angle. It's almost like he's cutting it with jam, or on a push side of the net. But again, there's something about his unpredictability that Paper just can't seem to handle. That might be 4 aces for him in just this one game.
It definitely is. Breaks to being broken is really high right now. Last game, Luke's serves were going off, and now this game, Ethan's are taking off. They're both hitting serves every time. Like, they can be really.
Not exactly sure what we saw there, but
I don't want to know.
You can tell Ethan's having a good time. But it looks like Nick's in good spirits too. Let's see if he's able to pull this one back. But you mentioned Ethan's breaks versus broken, really being a high point for this, and that came in as really his worst kind of stat or skill archetype for the league was his game breaker. He was the only one that was in the negative of this group with a negative 19, and honestly, I mean, when I saw that stat, it surprised me. It doesn't surprise you?
No, because thing is, like, some days his serve is just not on at all, and that's why he's getting like the low serve percentage, like 40-50% serve percentage. He can't get breaks if he's not hitting his serves. But today,
that's
like,
definitely true.
Yeah, and serve receive is still one of a lot of players' like biggest issue, especially Ethan's.
Good hit. Nice little side out there. No, I agree. And again, it just proves that this Scissors team, when they can get their serves on, are a much tougher team to handle. My word, that is so wide.
So low and wide.
I want no part of having to receive that. Gets him to bite on the lefty fake. Just gotta get that on. Good serve. Oh, Ethan's there for the touch, but can't quite get his hand there.
Definitely gonna want that one back.
Really confident read by both of them. They knew exactly where that was going.
Oof,
Great diving set
touch from Nick.
That's the kind of athletic play that Luke has come to be known for here in the Texas community. I mean, the man is great at laying out, but obviously, I mean, that set is just insane. He had no business getting that back. Yeah, if Ethan serves from this position, this is what it should be. We'll see if they. There we go. 16-14. Ethan serving from the right.
Like having to face the sun, and it seems like
Yeah, I call
a
this
bit
the
of
get
an
it
issue.
on. This is the get it on serving position. It doesn't have to be a good serve, and you probably get a hard touch or bad touch rather. Oh, and he can't force it.
See if Josh can continue his last serving run, where his last serving run left off.
Confidence.
Kind of expecting a hit on 2 there from Ethan.
At this point, their confidence is sky high. I wouldn't be surprised. Oh, great defensive touch. Oh,
Gets it on.
Josh gets it on. But unfortunately, Scissors has no problem dealing with that drop. I think that's one of Incompetence Paper's best qualities, though, is keeping plays alive. There's so many plays that they have.
They're not afraid to lay out for anything.
They're not afraid to lay out, and I mean, sure they didn't get the point off of that one, but the fact that they were even able to, get that back to the net, it gives you a shot, and not many teams can do that. I think as they get more experienced and develop as players, really look to see them. Wow, that was a phenomenal rally, by the way. Great defensive touch there by Nick. But no, as they grow as players, I think we'll look to see them do what they did just there, which is just finish those defensive positions more often. If they can get a strong hit like that, I mean, they're gonna be forcing a lot of breaks.
Step back.
And that's a really important break from Paper too. As they're hitting the 17 point mark. Ooh, almost had a collision there. But as they hit that 17 point mark, they drew it back to within 1. So now, even if they just hold out the rest of the time, this game goes to extras. They won't lose, which is huge. It's a great mental spot to be in.
And as I was saying in the last game, I think Paper can be really clutch. If this game goes to extras, I can see them winning over Scissors.
Oh, they're not going to make it there.
Extras.
You are not going to make it to extras if you can't. If you're going to let Ethan ace you like that. That one seemed to catch Josh somewhere, like in the middle of his body. It's like he didn't know whether to receive it with his left or his right hand.
Not my part.
In this game, we're seeing, especially from Paper, just really getting broken on serves more than we would have expected. They're each getting. Well, Josh has got an ace. He usually gets aced about 6% of the time throughout this league, but tonight with the combination of Ethan and Luke both being hot, it's been a much higher rate. Got to be somewhere closer to 20%.
Really surprising.
It is really surprising because I mean neither of these teams is inexperienced by any means.
They should be used to each other's serves, but then again, Ethan's is changing every day. I feel like.
Yeah, but for those watching at home who are not familiar, with these teams. Both are Austin based, and so both are familiar with each other's games, get to play fairly often together, at least when they're not at college. And so, yeah, again, not no mystery here, but a good hold from Scissors there. Luke with a confident hit, just playing it into Josh when he knows he's not going to be able to get it back. And a nice serve.
Yeah, Josh got the good receive he's been looking for, but no reward.
Yeah, the set wasn't quite there from Nick. I mean, that's a huge win for Scissors, though. They're going to walk away from that feeling really confident, not only in their serves but the rest of their game. Fairly clean for the most part. And this really winning that game, and not just winning or that series, but not just winning it, but winning it in 2 games is a huge difference. For those of you who don't know, in the Gold League, the way that the scoring works is if you win a series in 2 games, you get 3 points for it. If you win it in 3 games, you get 2 points, and your opposition gets 1. So basically, there's 3 points of any series up for grabs. And pulling 3 points with teams that are that close together, that's just a huge win for Scissors. Changes the complexion of this matchup for sure. Because right now, as it stands, with them taking 3 points there, if they're able to just win this next series, they don't even have to win it in 2 games. That'll leave them in pole position to get 3rd, assuming that they can get a good result in their final game, which is their game from last week that had to be postponed due to an injury. If they're able to get 5 or 6 points from that, they're in a good shape as long as they win this next series.
That'll be an interesting game on its own, just depending on this matchup to see how many points they need. And they're going to be fighting for every game in there too.
Absolutely, and similar to paper, Braden Lindvall, which that is the team that Scissors still has to play. They run down so many balls, and they're so great at those long defensive gets, and so in a lot of ways it could be a similar matchup for them. But as long as they're serving like they are tonight, they shouldn't have any problem in that matchup.
I think it's that home field advantage. I think they're at Ethan and Luke's high school. Correct.
It must be. What was paper thinking? They should have chosen a neutral location. But again, this is by no means over for Incompetence paper. They came into this understanding that they've already clinched playoffs, and understanding that all they have to do is get 3rd, or to get 3rd is to take 2 points from tonight's matchup. So what they need to do right now is just wipe the slate clean, forget about that last series, come into this and realize that if they win this series, it can even go 3 games. As long as they win, they've clinched 3rd.
That goes for both teams. I believe whoever wins this series.
That is true, unless Braden Lindvall takes points off of Scissors. If they take points off of Scissors, then they're looking in a slightly different situation. But it definitely puts them in a good position, no doubt.
Who would you want to serve here first? Didn't really see who won the toss, but
it is strange that they're having to decide, but as it were, there's some next level strategy going on. Guess they're deciding who's going to receive here. It looks like Scissors is going to go, and they're going to ride the hot hand. This will be Ethan to start off, and look at Nick. See, that's a veteran move by Nick right there. He does not want to receive looking into the sun starting off. Smart move, but if I'm Josh, I'm not too happy about that.
Series 2 game.
Ethan to serve. Let's see if he can ride that aces wave he was riding that whole first series.
Close.
Clips the front rim. Double fault to start us off. All right, Seth, in the second series, what is Incompetence Paper going to need to do to turn this around?
Oh, they did start hitting their serves. Okay, Josh did. Nick's definitely gonna have to find some more serves on net, and I think it's all in serve receive.
Yeah, that really was the big thing, and man, that is when Luke is hitting that lefty. Good luck. Good luck.
And Josh was looking at the sun on that one too.
If you follow me on course.
Not sure what they're talking about. We've got Luke with a second serve coming up. Early break. I'd love to see him just put Paper under pressure here. Put it on. Let's just see him play it out. No matter, or not no matter, but in all likelihood, Josh is going to have to be setting this looking into the sun. Take advantage of that. Goes for the drop. Nick's rim. Yeah.
Was lined
Luke
up a
handles
little
that
far
drop
back
easily.
on that one. He could still get to it, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, still a good drop. He still had dive, but it just speaks to the effort of there. It looked like he was on the ground and up in a flash, and easy.
Good
Looks
1,
like
2,
Ethan
3.
took a little bit off of that one, and Josh was able to handle it a little bit.
Hey, Josh firing back with the left of his own.
Yes, he is. That left has been his most successful serve all day. Oh, easy on two.
Wow.
Oh, Nick can't put it on. Wow. Don't think they
That
were
was just great
two
all
there.
around for the last hit. Or
Oh,
exactly.
is it maybe a call?
Maybe a hinder. I don't know.
Wrong serve. Finally gets one. I think we're seeing both teams showing confidence early on in the series. And oh my goodness, was that wide? It must have been something. Okay.
I was just
The way
feeling
the way the camera angle was set up there, Ethan was blocking the. I felt like in an instant it just flew by to his right. So, yeah, double fault there. Luke, let's see if he can claw one back. Great serve receive from Nick there. That's a really hard cut serve by Luke, and he just sent that right to Josh. And this
does bring out that backhand. He's usually has a pretty good percentage with it. It can
Luke
be pretty deadly.
handles that set of it's not an easy hit. This will be so. As you all know, in round net, every 5 you rotate so as to not be disadvanged by any kind of natural effect, whether it be the wind or the sun. As it turns out, we have here incompetent scissors with both players at advantage. They're in that rotation, and we'll have to see if Server can take advantage. And the serve received a setting is going to be a little bit harder, so it's especially important that their serves on. With a good serve.
Wait,
But Luke with the up.
uh,
Not sure what happened there.
a bad angle.
Yeah, it looks like it may have. I mean, it sound great, but maybe sound like a roll pop
I think
or
they're
a heavy pocket.
They might be debating if it went off Nick and then
Again, we have a tough angle there, but you're right. They're trying to decide if that was a. I don't think it was a hinder, but maybe if it. I mean, I don't know.
maybe it bounced and after it hit Nick and went back and hit Luke, and they're debating if it's a
Or maybe
hinder.
if it was a hinder on Luke's hit, which I think is what that might have been. Because that would be an automatic point for
or if it was in the
scissors.
cylinder.
Oh, could have been. That could have been.
No, Nick was
Either way,
his hand and he was right outside the net. He's trying to say his hand like right outside the rim. I don't know.
that would make sense. And for those who are unfamiliar, this year we had a new rule that was really a player safety rule, looking to make sure that when a hitter is going to hit at the net, that they're not at risk of hitting a defender's body part. And so a defender is no longer allowed to hit or to put their hand or foot inside the circle or the cylinder of the net. And so think of it as an invisible plane you're not allowed to cross.
They call that rim.
I think that's what they're trying to, and yeah, it looks like they're going to. And this is
Two mistakes from Josh back to back.
and that's a really hard spot for paper because they threw away the lead in this when they were in the advantageous spot. Maybe the sun isn't quite as bad as I think, but when I look at those long shadows, it looks rough. I'm Luke and Ethan. I'm extremely happy to have come away with that, having flipped the script. Nice serve on. Oh man. Ethan gives him a chance, but Luke's going to want a little bit more from that serve receive. But again, we talk about Josh having one of the more unique cut serves. He makes contact so high. Players aren't used to seeing someone make contact that high. It's gonna bounce off the net slightly differently, and that might be what we're seeing an experienced serve returner like Luke. That might be why we're seeing him make some mistakes there.
Nick to hit some.
Yeah, would love to see his serve get back on. Good hard serve. Even with a diving set, he did just enough to give Luke that angle, and he just made the most of that net.
It was a quick set too, giving paper no time to react.
Absolutely. Great serve from Ethan.
Calling rim, I thought it might have been rim. rim.
Ooh, Josh, not liking what he saw though. Really, really hard to see. Okay, we're back. It looked like it had cut out a little bit. They're still arguing over. Look, redo that one. Ball doesn't. Oh man, another. Never
Calls a
mind what
lip
the
on
ball
that
doesn't
one.
lie. I don't know if I saw a lip there, but again, he's got a better
I
angle
don't
than
know
us.
if I did either.
Ooh man, that's a tough one for Ethan there. It's obviously a gentleman's game. These guys are all friends, but it's always hard when you get what you feel like is two aces called back in a row.
And they're gonna dispute this one. I thought I don't really tell from our angle, but it looked pretty high. It looked like it could have easily lipped up.
Looks like, yeah, that looked like a lip to me. Josh is trying to explain to them is that he makes contact with the ball really high, and that's why it's coming out.
It's a good argument, but it
I,
fortunately doesn't solve everything.
no, it does
For
not.
everything. Oh, okay.
And especially that goes. Great, great serve by Josh. Lefty chop.
Yeah, so as the game gets closer to the end and as the series gets closer to ending, I can see like these teams fighting for every call, and like we'll see.
Absolutely, and just the nature of the way this matchup has played out, and we didn't have many arguments in Series 1, even though it was such an important series, because to be quite frank, it was a lot of those serves were not on. They were just clear rims, and the ones that did make it on, those aces, they were pretty clean. They were straightforward, and so I think that it's also contributing to the higher number of arguments we're seeing here. All right, 11-11. Luke to serve. Josh looking into the sun. Again, Luke's going to want to get this serve on, test his skills.
I'm going for a lefty. Nope, I'm wrong.
Josh will be happy to see that one hit a big back pocket.
Wow. Ethan didn't even go for it.
Yeah. He didn't go for it so much so that, considering we were blocked from seeing the net, I thought it must have hit the turf or something. But it must have been that good of that clean.
About the toss.
Interesting.
Nick looked so casual going into the toss, and like even the hit itself it all looked so casual. I don't know.
Yeah.
Remember exactly what the toss looked like, but
Yeah, looks like
thinking,
they're gonna opt for a just watch yourself next time kind of a close call.
always a good thing to start out with one of those before you demand a point or demand a redo.
Yeah. I think you'll see a lot of players do that, especially when we don't have serving lines like we do today. It just it's so hard, and you want to give people the benefit of the doubt. So good to see some good sportsmanship there from Luke. Even though that Knicks rim, that's a good serve from Ethan. It's barely hitting it, and I think he'll come away from that very happy. Oh man,
Great set from Luke. Great hit
good
from Ethan.
Good serve
Great all
receive on a serve that sent him so far to his left. And I mean, send him to the other side of the net. The defense was not prepared. Easy put away. Ooh, great drop. Nick's not giving anybody any chance on that one.
I'd like to say that Paper's improved with their serve receive, but it's almost as if Scissors just stopped hitting their hard serves.
I have to agree. They've definitely cooled off a little bit in this second series.
Oh, lovely set.
What a set. My word. Both of
Wow.
them have made some phenomenal sets in this matchup, and it's really keeping them in it. Without those, this is a much different game. And it's a hard position to be in, but I think Nick's probably Josh to leave that shot next time and not put in there. Oh, there's a good. Oh, Luke with the dive, but can't get the touch. Not sure what the call is here. Yep, straightforward. And we had a great view at that last hit from Josh, but he really threaded the needle. Ethan playing the defender who's going to shape the ball into the channel, and it looked like it was going right towards Luke like they'd want, but not able to get the touch.
Almost looked like Luke stopped right before he got to the position he wanted to be in.
Yeah, he maybe wasn't expecting it to be that
He expected Ethan to
close in the
cover a
channel.
little bit more or something. I don't know.
Maybe so. Either way, it was an inch perfect shot from Josh. Ooh, was that a failed tweener or a? Oh, looks like is he calling? Yeah.
Should be a strong play hinder, shouldn't it?
Absolutely.
If he
I
hit
mean,
Nick's hand.
yeah, they win the point if that's a hinder, but I anticipate it'll go that way. But if you're Nick, it's not a fun place to be in because how are you supposed to know he's going to go all the way around the net like that?
If he didn't make contact with Nick, but if he didn't make contact with Nick, maybe Nick's arguing that like he didn't think he was really in his way. I don't know.
It's a tough gray area because he doesn't have to make contact with him for it to be that strong play hinder, but you just don't know what they're gonna do. Especially with one. I mean, this one is this game is in the balance 15-17. If they get this break, if Paper gets this break, I mean this is a decisive point in the game, and you'd like to think they hold on for the rest. I don't know about you. I think we might be headed for a redo.
Yeah, it's unfortunate for Luke and Ethan if that's the case, because they basically had the point right in front of them.
Yep. And for a game or a matchup with such high stakes as this, you'd love to have observers, but with this remote league that we've got going on here, that's a little more difficult than running a tournament where you've got a lot of players who are sitting on the sidelines who can hop in and observe. But again, it's a gentleman's game. I bet we'll see a little redo here, and I think that's where we're at now. Nick rushing to serve 17, serving 15.
They call carry on the receive. That's
Maybe so.
really unfortunate.
Yeah, that's a huge break. Nice hard serve from Nick. Definitely a lip up there.
He's really swinging though.
Absolutely is. Needs to get a little bit more over it. Just let that hit the near net. But this is an important serve here from Ethan. Can he find some of that earlier form that he had in this matchup? Nice swing. Looks like there's a little bit of leakage in his motion there. I want to see him kind of tighten up. Didn't looked like he snatched at it a little bit. Double fault. 1916 on the rotate. Big serve receive here for Luke. He's got to give him a chance. Doesn't bite on any of the fakes. Really good focus.
What do you think they called there? That looked.
Oh, Ethan goes on 2. Yeah, that's interesting to see. I think they could call hinder.
Luke for Josh's hit.
Yeah, I don't. To me, that looks like not hitting motion, but definitely a hinder. I don't think they should lose the point for that.
I agree.
That should definitely be a redo.
It's another huge gray area, I believe.
Yeah.
Like it was technically Josh's hit, but it wasn't a strong play since the set was so off the net.
I think they're having the same conversation, but if I had to guess, I think it should end up here. But I mean, if Nick tightens up that set and gets it on the net, it's a strong play hinder, and they'll win that point. But there's just no way.
And Luke calls lip. I agree.
I do too.
It was
coming in for what I think is a second serve. They might, if they're arguing it, that might be a redo. It's like they're still chatting about it. 1916 for what I feel like is the 5th time.
It is the 5th. Wow.
Man, they did go for the redo. Second serve here. 1916 for what's hopefully the last time. Good serve receive. Oh, Nick with the touch. Can Josh get it back? Gives him a shot.
All that.
A little too much. Great defensive touch by Nick, though. Love to see that. Feel like he did enough there, and it was a really hard hit from Luke. This is a huge service, huge service for Luke. He's got to put them under pressure and give him a shot. Gets it on. Ethan with the rundown. Luke with the set. Oh, that's really far off net though. He's gonna want that back. A player of his quality has got to give Ethan a shot there, but
just got in his head a little bit. You realized how important that set was.
And it's hard with those long defensive touches because you've got a long time to think about that set. And he's obviously moving in the opposite direction, hitting a spinning ball. It's no easy set, but Luke's obviously a very good player. He'd probably want that one back. I really liked Ethan's rotation there. He read the set across the net, and you could see him moving on it. Oh, the
Whoa.
tweener.
Nick clearly disappointed with himself after that set.
Like, oh shit.
Yeah, I'm not sure if they're calling hinder on the. Yeah, it looks like a hinder on the camera, if I'm not mistaken. Gives him another shot. Excellent serve receive. Ethan gives him no shot there.
I don't want that hinder in the last point to take away from Ethan's awesome tweener. He never hit those. I'm really surprised.
I was loving that hit as well. But we've got a huge serve here for Ethan. Time to put those that serve percentage, those demons to bed. And unfortunately, can't put it on. And paper holds. That's a nice comeback for them. They are able to bounce back from that losing that first series in 2 games.
21-18 paper. That's gonna be a rough one to watch.
Good, we were tracking along correct. But you love to see that, and you love to see them really make this a series. This matchup has got some new life in it, and honestly, as we're following through, this is poised to be a really tight, intense fight for that 3rd playoff spot. We'll know what happens in this after this next game, or at least partially.
Like the hinder call is like far after the.
Still debating all the calls that
like
happened.
What's in the air about what?
I think you thought you weren't. Or no? Wasn't. Yeah, so I think we disagree. We can talk about it later. Yeah, it doesn't matter. I show. Just your choice. No, because it's not. Based on where the ball is. It's never.
Yeah, and you can hear him still talking about it. It's clear that this game meant a lot, and you hate to see it come down to so many points that are in the gray area, but that's sports, and hopefully Scissors is able to put that behind them and come back with a clear, focused game in this second game.
Yeah,
that's the
I
challenge.
think like it wasn't their best game in the first place. There's a lot of more mistakes this game than the previous games for Scissors. But it is still unfortunate that this situation had to happen.
Yeah. And overall, I thought they played pretty cleanly. It wasn't a perfect game, but I don't think they had a lot of errors. Their serves weren't doing the damage that they were in that first series. And I think it makes sense when you really think about it, because Paper has had 2 games to see these guys serves, and most people can adjust to a serve after seeing it a few times like that, and it's one of the fun things about this format in the World League is that you see these teams who are very serve dependent. You see them having to move towards different strategies sometimes in order to close out that second series as their opponents get more used to it, and so really cool kind of element to this Gold League.
Yeah, and I think with both teams serve receiving more, definitely saw a lot more defensive touches, rallies, I think.
It was a much more fun game to watch, that's for sure. Both teams having some nice rundowns and really showing off their athleticism. Now, crucially, in the second, or not in the second, but in playoffs, we won't have the same 2-series system. We'll actually move to a single series, but it won't be a 3-game series. It'll be a 5-game series, and so we'll still see a lot of games, which will be really fun. But there will be no possible ties.
I was here and I was like, "Do you want to serve?" He's like,
Wait, did you start? What?
Yeah.
And we'll take this time to let you guys know that here at Texas RoundNet, we have some new shirts available. And so if you're looking to deck yourself out with some new RoundNet gear, go over to texasroundnet.com/shop. We've got 3 new shirts. One, which has been the crowd favorite so far, is the just Texas RoundNet, and then we have the astronaut Taser Forever, and then a blue Taser Forever. All of them super cool. I wear mine all the time. They're super comfortable and fit really nicely. So go ahead and go there. You can also check out our RoundNet Dad Cap, which was definitely our best-selling item from last year. And so you can find those all at the website, texasroundnet.com/shop. Nice start to the game there from Nick, putting pressure on with his serve. Double fault to kick us off.
Let's see if Ethan can find his groove again.
Yeah, it'll be a nice bounce back. The one good thing was that even though his ace, that was so clean. Don't take that back from him. That was clean. I love to see that. But what I was saying was, even though last game his ace percentage definitely dropped, it wasn't getting as many aces. I feel like he still had a solid serve percent. He got a decent number of them on, allowed him to play more points out.
True, yeah.
That's a good one though. They get that break back.
Drop it. I'd like to see Ethan drop it. I think I don't know if he's done it yet today, but when it comes off, it usually is really good.
Yeah, he does have a solid drop. Luke there is gonna be really disappointed with that set. Ethan with a really good serve receive on Josh's cut, but Luke unable to put him on the net, and Ethan's acrobatics were not quite enough.
It was almost too good. Almost too good made Luke overthink it.
Yeah, you give someone too much time. Sometimes that's the case. Good. Ooh.
Pretty good set from Ethan.
Oh yeah. I mean, Incompetence Scissors might need to change their name to Incompetence Diving Sets, because their diving sets have been insane today. I think that's the 3rd one, and each of them has just been on the money. But that's an important hold. You don't want to go down. You don't want to be broken twice within the first 6 points of the game. And so nice hold for Scissors there. Let's see if Luke can do some damage with his serve. I want to see a little bit of. I'd love to see him go left here. Not sure I think he got that lefty ace early in game 1 of that second series, but not sure if he faked that much there throughout the game. We'd love to see him go back to that, make paper think a little bit more. Nice swing, but
a little bit of a
little.
lip.
Ooh. A nice defensive read by Luke there. You could see him read the set, shift over, and pinch into Ethan, but really just kind of the ball just squeezed through him. Cool angle to see Nick's drop here. He really just slices so severely underneath it.
Wow.
Oh,
That's a touch.
man. Amazing to get a touch there after jumping early on. Usually the kiss of death, but
Hey, I was going straight up, right? Yes. No idea.
Such a crazy receive from Ethan too. It went straight into Luke. I don't know how they managed to get that on.
yeah, Luke did a great job giving Ethan even a chance there. But it looks like it might have been a carry call.
Yeah,
But
it must have
Ethan
been.
doing a good job getting back on the ace train. Double faults, but it gets one back, and that's 5-5 on the rotation. I'm not sure if Josh's cut is just not moving quite as much as it was earlier, or if Scissors is really just adapted to it, but they don't seem to be bothered at all by his cut anymore.
Yeah, it does tend to. Most of the time, it doesn't cut as much as it does those few times that it's like goes so wide. So I think they're just not hitting as well as Josh wants them to be.
That makes sense. It looks like that first serve from Luke was a redo, so now it's second serve. Can't avoid the clutches of the dreaded double fault. Both teams really swinging for it here. Like his idea, going for that push, but can't quite get it to come off.
Oh,
Man, it's almost like a swoosh in basketball, but you can just hear it when it comes off that pretty.
yeah.
I didn't even have to look at that one to know it was an ace. And this is the thing that I think is really important for Scissors is when Ethan and Luke are kind of they're at least both hitting their serves today. You know, maybe not all the time, but today they're both hitting their serves. I think it just does wonders for their confidence when Luke knows that he doesn't have to bear the whole burden of getting serves on, making plays. I think it really just livens them up and allows them to play more freely.
And it's probably even harder to hit serves when you know that like it's that much more important for you to hit them because you're trying to make up for your partner not hitting them.
Absolutely. Nice defensive touch by Ethan. His positioning was perfect there. And plays that backhand right into Josh's chest.
I think Josh should have needed to stand a little farther back there. That was kind of off the net, giving it some more room.
It absolutely was. And And if not, he's got to see Nick's positioning there and at least shift his shoulders and his hips to face him. But you're right. I mean, at that point, Ethan has got so much. He's going to put so much power on that it's going to be tough to get that body. Luke to serve 10-7.
By the time I got there, you had already ordered like $10.
Oh, good serve. Luke there to get the drop. And I think that's on.
I'm not
Oh,
sure.
must have missed it.
I think the set from Ethan might have been a little short.
Yeah.
Luke didn't have room to ground to wrap it.
Definitely a weak set from Ethan. You got to capitalize on those, but it's just like we were talking about earlier. Paper has they have the unique ability to keep these plays alive, and even if it's just getting a little drop on, they just won a point off of getting that little drop on. You always give yourself a chance. Oof.
Good push from Ethan, but Josh is there.
Yeah, good to see Josh learn. I think he's been aced by that serve 4 or 5 times today. Good to see
Those
him.
all came from the
adjust
first
to
2 games, I think.
it. I think they might have. I think his aces last game were primarily from his cut.
Yes.
That was good. Good hitting awareness there from Josh. Oh, great lefty.
Calling lip,
was
maybe.
that a lip? Yeah, I was gonna say it looked like it stayed low.
Right. Yeah, I thought it was clean.
But really good hitting awareness by Josh there a few points ago. He saw Ethan come up close and just decided to hit it a little bit higher, get the trajectory to go above him. Really smart hitting. Good receive by Luke. Ooh, a little jump over the net. Great athleticism. Scissors maintains their 2-point lead. Josh is going to eat that up. I think if Ethan might stay a little more active there, Josh gives him a chance. That hit is pretty high, and Ethan was in the vicinity. You'd think he's got a decent shot to make a play on it. Great receive, and that's an easy 1-2-3 put away. Another 1-2-3 put away. We're seeing some nice composed play here.
Getting really
both
comfortable
sides.
receiving each other.
They absolutely are. But every one of these games has really been. Every one of these games has been close. Really just fine margins from both teams, and we've seen that play out in the stats throughout the year. Most every single stat, whether it's RPR or even the skill stats, they're all about middle of the pack and really close together. And we've seen that play out in the game as well. Now, if you're Ethan, you're going to be a little upset at that set from Luke. He had a phenomenal defensive touch, was in a great position, and Luke just really didn't give him a shot there. And looks like he maybe knocked the wind out of his sails a little bit, the air out of his lungs.
Bro, that one hurt.
Looks like it did.
Bruising or anything? I don't think so.
Might have a little timeout going.
No, it was more my elbow came into my stomach. I don't know how to
Elbow
land
came
on
to
my
his
side.
elbow came into his stomach.
Ooh,
Yeah, you're.
that doesn't feel nice.
Mm.
That's my favorite way that you do. You're like standing straight up.
I guess while they're here, I just want to double check the score. It's 13-13 now, right? I guess they can't hear me.
Yeah, it can get kind of annoying listening to commentators talk about you while you're lining up to serve. But muted
That's
us.
definitely true. Last week we definitely turned the volume down, so because you can't really tell from this camera angle, but in person the camera it just feels so close. So I definitely understand that.
Well, hopefully Ethan's okay. Hopefully it won't affect his game. They get back out there.
And I think what it really comes down to here is who's going to be able to finish these defensive gets. Both teams have settled down a little bit on the serve receive. They're starting to get a hang of the opponent's serves, and accordingly, the serves have cooled off. And so this has really been a game of who can play cleanest on the defensive gets.
Yeah, I think both teams they're hitting pretty well, but I do think they're definitely gettable most of the time.
Can you say the line? That shit hurt.
That sure did. You gotta do it like we're still on the ground today. Dude.
It's like we might have a water break, I guess.
Yeah, we had an injury timeout. Ethan landed on his ribs.
Gotcha. Well, Luke, while you're here, it's 13-13, right?
Say it again?
It's 13-13, correct?
13-14.
Gotcha. You guys have 14?
Yeah. Scissors
Thank
14,
you.
paper 13.
Appreciate it. That's why we ask, ladies and gentlemen. That is
I
why
just
we
served from
ask.
the right, Josh.
Okay, that's right. All right, Nick to serve. 13 serving 14. Goes for another drop. Can't quite get it.
Drop on the player that was just hurt. Cruel.
Ruthless.
Hmm.
Opts for that hard angle step out. Doesn't get it. Good serve from Ethan.
There it
And
is.
he gets that cut. He
Hit it right at the front pocket. So low.
and it's different than a lot of cuts because you see a lot of guys really send it out wide and get a ton of movement on theirs. But again, forcing another break off a bad touch. But his really aren't going that wide. They're so low with that fast movement. He's doing a lot. Oh no! Is there disagreement? Surely that was rim.
No. Yeah, Josh knows it. He's clearly upset after he I didn't really swing his arm the way it looked natural. It's kind of like a windshield wiper straight into the rim.
Yeah. But again, Scissors. Woo! Making a statement
right
on the
under
back
Nick's
of
hand.
man.
Almost
Ethan
like it
is
went
just
under his hand.
he has taken a hold of this game. It's a vice grip at this point. 18-13.
Wow.
Yeah. Just like that, the game's out of reach. It was 14-13 when he, or I guess when he first started serving, 15-13. Oh, and call the carry. Come on.
That go on?
I think so. I think Ethan would be yelling at him if it didn't. Man. Yeah, risky play, but they should have called a carry. Definite carry on Nick there.
I think perhaps the break allowed Josh and Nick to lose focus a little bit, and that's why their service receive isn't as good. Or do you
Either
think
way,
go
they've
off?
got to take a long, hard look in the mirror after this game and right the
Yeah.
ship because they've got a huge game 3 coming up. Nice, confident put away. If Josh is going to have any hope of getting that one back, he's got to center his hips on the net there. But a really strong play there from Ethan to close that game. I mean, we were talking about how serves had cooled off and everyone had gotten used to the serve receive here, and then Ethan just really took advantage of the commentator's curse and absolutely took a hold of that game. And I must say, and this is to his credit, but I do not think I've seen Ethan serve that many high-quality serves in a row, and especially not in a game like this. So kudos to him. I know that's come on the back of a lot of hard work, and this is proof that no matter what the stats say, every game is a new day, and he's really turned the narrative. I think you look at this series. I came into it having circled that serve percentage stat for Ethan, that 41% serve percent on for the year, and I thought that was going to be a big talking point for all the wrong reasons, and he's flipped it on its head. He is absolutely
More like 41% ace percentage now.
honestly, at this point, it might be. He's really turning that around, and you know he's -19 in the game breaker stat for this for the season, and if he keeps this up, he's gonna have gone positive after this one matchup.
Oof.
Just a
What a comeback.
huge comeback. And for those who don't know, the game breaker stat is the breaks that you give versus the amount of times you're broken. And so, really a cool way to look at how, a really cool way to look at how a player impacts the game. It's the very core of this game. How many times do you break your opponent versus being broken by them? And if you guys want to dive into the stats on your own, you can check that out at texasroundnet.com/stats. Or maybe it's Gold League stats, I forget. But either way, we've got stats for every player. Oh man, can't quite get the rundown. Gosh.
A good first touch from Ethan. Sent it high, even though he barely got there.
Really good first touch. And honestly, that's a solid set.
Yeah, it's just such a hard ball to get back in the first place.
It really is. But got to give him credit. Gave them a shot. But yeah, so go ahead and check out the stats there if you want to see how all of these guys have improved after, well, specifically Ethan, how he's improved after this one amazing performance. Yeah, check it out. Not sure what happened there. Did Nick hit that into himself?
I'm not sure. Don't think he. Yeah, it looked like he tried to hit it kind of straight down since it was not the best set. Went the other way than I expected. So
Yeah, I think it might have come up and hit him, but
yeah,
I don't think that's right. Am I off? Shoot. Oh, no. This is right. What was I thinking? Nice serve.
I think they're saying might have touched Luke, but I don't think it did.
Oh, man. He went full Matrix on that one.
Been
I
a
would love
little
to see
slow
that.
to get up. Yeah.
Oh, man. What a serve. Wait, what? Okay, yeah, come on. Come on. Telling you, when Luke's lefty serve hits, it is just astounding. He gets it so wide.
Wide, low, and fast.
Yeah,
Just what you would want with a righty serve too.
absolutely. And oh yeah, I mean, I thought that looked like a rim to me. Ooh, that is a harsh call because they stopped playing there on what is a fairly easy defensive get.
Looks like a whip.
Yeah, that's a tough break for Scissors. I thought that looked like a rim, but oh yeah, take advantage of that.
Josh isn't happy. I remember him telling me actually a couple days ago he meant to tell me he was going to talk to Nick about his hits on two. Maybe that conversation never happened.
It's been hard. I mean, there's been I've watched a fair number of their games this year, and they've hit on two a lot, specifically Nick. And oh, what a hit! Gotta love that. But we've seen Nick hit on two with great success. I mean, but if you're gonna hit on two, you can't lip up that bad, especially against capable defenders like Ethan and Luke. But a really strong serving run from Luke there, taking advantage of the hot hand and really showing the defensive chops. We talked going into this game about how playing clean on these these long defensive points could be a big differentiator here. And so far, they're setting both Ethan and Luke. Their setting on these defensive touches has been really, really good. If they can keep serving like this and playing this clean, I think they've got a really good shot of taking this one. Obviously, built up a solid lead here, but there's a lot of game left, and we've seen Nick and Josh go on runs just like that. So Josh looks to get his lefty hot again. This game has huge implications for the playoffs. We mentioned it earlier, but for those of you who are just now joining, this game running into it, this is between the third and fourth place teams in the Southern Conference. Incompetence, Scissors being, big miss there by Nick. You do not want to give away. You not want to give away breaks that easy, and he knows it.
I think Josh was called a timeout.
Okay.
Probably a good idea.
Yeah, it's a good idea. There's been a little bit sloppy from both of them, and this is just time to clear the air, take some time, but also we take this time to explain the playoff implications here. So if Scissors is able to hold, they will go into their final game against Braden Lindvall with the opportunity to claim third place, to move up and pass Incompetence paper. Incompetence paper. This is their last game, and so last matchup, and so they actually don't have any chance to improve beyond this, and so they got to leave it all on the line here. But
Just looking to clinch that 3rd seed with a victory here in this final game.
if Incompetent Scissors pulls this win off and then takes 6 points from Braden Linval, they will have 3rd place. Now, if they take 5 points from Braden Linval, it'll come down to really head to head. I believe head to head. It'll either be wins or head to head, and either way,
they'll win head to head. So
they'll win head to head, no doubt. I'd have to check this. I'd have to check the table to see if they'd win wins. But again, if you're Incompetence paper here, you don't want to leave that up to chance. And a nice break from Nick. Good to see him come back from that mentally. He'd made a couple errors prior to the timeout, but that's a good teammate right there in Josh. He knew his partner and gave him a second, cool off, shake off the those 2 errors, and yeah, that's a big break. Gets a little bit of confidence going into this second half of the game.
wow, quick play right there.
Absolutely, Luke causing.
Luke.
Yeah, and it caused a little bit of trouble for Josh on the serve receive. But Nick able to handle it with a good set.
Oh, wow.
Confident serve receive from Luke there as well.
Yeah, no, Luke and Ethan's serve receive and setting look basically perfect this last game.
Yeah, they really look like a team in control. Double fault from Ethan. Nick to serve, and what used to be the server's position with the receiver looking into the sun, but looks like it's tucked behind the trees, and that's no longer the case. Double fault there. Luke now to serve. Not yet rotate. We'll rotate next point, but I'd love to see Luke go back to some fakes. He's getting his left so wide, and again another wide left. Great defensive positioning from Ethan, and an excellent put away.
Such a good rally. No one really did anything wrong. I mean,
no, not at all. It was just a really good read from Ethan, and we talked about it before. A clean set on that defensive get from Luke. Oh, what?
on that whip.
I mean, we're at a weird angle, I suppose, but that looked really good to me. Oh, gets the defensive touch.
Oh.
Nick, for good measure, says, get that out of here. Really good tracking from Ethan there, though. Obviously, an extremely challenging play, an extremely challenging set from Luke, but there's a certain confidence you get from touching even your opponent's really wide hits.
That was a slight whip.
Oh, great defensive get.
Set's not there from Josh.
No, it's a set. The ball's
the
coming at him so fast into his body. But a really good read from Nick. I mean, he reacted to that ball and got a really strong hand.
And I think that's the key. That's what paper needs to do. Scissors had a really good receive and set. Wow.
Oh. Ethan, take it easy on these boys. I don't think Nick even moved. I don't think Josh, sorry, even moved for that.
It's hard when his push can go so far to your left and his cut can go so far to your right. Like, I mean, they're not super wide or anything, but it's just difficult to know where to stand.
Absolutely. And once you get a receiver thinking about that stuff, you know, that's them spending a little less mental energy on trying to actually receive your serve. And so so yeah, all great things, and cool to see Ethan add that to his game. He's had it. I mean, he's definitely not had it this consistently in the past, but having that variety of serve, it's really huge. And we're seeing that firsthand right here. They've got a 5-point lead heading into this to the twilight of this matchup. Again, we've got Scissors here with an absolutely huge game 3. And I think what's been fun about seeing them play here today is that they've got, it hasn't just been that one of them went off or played really well. Both players have played. Both players have had their own kind of runs where they got multiple breaks, and both I think have played a really strong game. And you love to see that as a team. Sorry for those of you on the score. It looks like I had missed one earlier, but 12-16. Good receive from Ethan. Yeah, no chance.
Really good wrap.
Really good wrap, and every good hit has started off with a really good set. That's really nicely done. Those are the kinds of sets that go unnoticed most of the time. You know, you get it's a little bit off net, or sorry, the serve receive isn't, you know, quite to you. It's a little far from the net, and he just made it look so easy. He put that exactly where Ethan wanted it, gave him options, and he did the rest. I think it's Luke's here. And this is a really critical point. As they've hit the 17 mark, Paper definitely can't afford to be broken anymore. But once they get served back, they've got to start getting some breaks if they're going to bring this one back. It's very close to getting out of hand. Love that lefty fake. Again, he's earned some respect with that lefty, and Josh has to move. And so, but he can't quite put on the second. Big serve coming up from Josh.
Yeah. I think he's got to go for his left. It's the only one that's really getting the breaks.
I agree, and so does Josh, but unfortunately doesn't come off for him this time.
He's going to be disappointed with himself for that.
Yeah, it's the moments like these where you really need your serve percentage, and oh man,
Wow.
what was that? Oh man,
I guess they're clipping rim. I don't know.
it had to have been
That
rim, because that
so
definitely wasn't
good.
a lip. Definitely wasn't a lip.
Nice.
Here we go. Great serve. Nick pulls one back. That might have been his best righty step out.
Possibly, yeah.
Whew.
I
Keep
think
doing that serve. I love that serve. I love his little.
Nice.
that one might have whipped a little bit.
It's coming so fast. It's hard to call
I
in
don't
real
know.
time.
Yeah, you got to play
Definitely
that.
gonna play that.
That's An unfortunate way to end a serving run.
It is, but they're back in the game. Those are two huge breaks for paper, and it's manageable at this point. Obviously, not where you want it, being 3 down, but it definitely looks a lot better than 5. Luke can't put it on. You'd love to see him put a little bit of pressure on them.
16 serving 19.
I don't think so. It should be 17-19.
Yeah, Josh said 7-9.
I think Logan, I think what he might have been is I had forgotten to do the 16 whenever Nick got a break earlier, maybe. But either way, Josh gets a good serve on. Oh,
great
Nick with the
effort, Nick.
receive. Come on.
Good set.
Oh,
Right.
gives him a chance. Big set here from Luke. Great.
Wow.
That's a huge break from Incompetence paper. Potentially season defining. We'll see.
True.
But really clean play from both of them. I love that defensive get from Nick rushing. That was which in the heat of the moment I called a receive. It almost felt like it though with the way he pushed it up with both hands. But a really good defensive get by Ethan to follow, and oh man, Luke just shutting the door with that on too. Ethan serving 2018. After missing that hit earlier, he's gonna want to get one back. Can't quite do it, and Nick rushing here, serving one of the biggest serves of his round net career, I'd have to say. Serving for the game, the series, potentially third spot, and third spot in the conference. This is a huge one. They're gonna make us wait for it though. They're gonna shag all the balls right now.
I don't know if this is a good thing or a bad thing for Nick. He was on his last serving run, like he was hitting everything.
He was hot. I have to say this if momentum is a thing, then Incompetent Scissors is excited to see this ball shagging going on, because Josh and Nick were locked in. Both were getting breaks. Both were playing very clean, getting their serve on. But here we are, all the pressure on Nick rushing here. Big serve, forces a hard set. Oh, and Luke with a great hit. Oh man. That is an unbelievable over the shoulder hit from Nick or from Luke Marshall. Ethan given a very challenging serve receive, made the most of his opportunity in that set, and that is a really huge result for Incompetent Scissors. You can see what it means to Ethan there, throwing up owl eyes. He's excited about that one. Man, from the first series, we could see that this was going to be a very different Incompetent Scissors. We love you too, Ethan. But we could tell from the very start of this series that this is a different Incompetent Scissors that came out to play, and I think this is the Scissors that really we all were expecting to see this season. Really cool to see them put in a performance like this when it matters most, and really just give us a really great game.
Yeah, they came in on the hunt for those 5 points, and they're gonna leave with them.
They absolutely did, and then they did it against a very good team and a very consistent team in Incompetence paper, and I think Nick and Josh can. I think they can both hold their heads high with today's performance. By no means a bad performance, and the way that they clawed back in Game 3 there was absolutely huge. That showed a lot of grit, showed a lot of focus, and that's a team that up against the edge performed. And so even though they might claim a lower seed here in playoffs, we'll see how it shakes out.
I'm excited for this. For Braden Linval to Incompetent Scissors.
It's a big game all of a sudden. We may have to throw in another featured stream to
Ooh.
just to capitalize on that hype, because man, that I can't wait for that game. But either way, this is a really good performance. Great job from the guys. Huge serving performance. Really just all around performance for Ethan and Luke.
I think.
If you had to pick a man of the match, Seth, who would it be?
Gotta give it to Ethan. That set at the very end, that diving set to finish it out on top of all those aces.
No question to Ethan. No question.
How clutch was that? Now we've heard rumors that his strength comes from his hair. I don't know if he's listening to this, but Ethan, can you confirm or deny? I'm gonna take that as a confirm.
He confirms.
What was the
Your
question?
strength comes from your hair.
Yeah, it's actually linear. The relationship's linear and positive.
I can see it, man. Can't wait to see it in a year's time when you are gearing up for Pro Division with hair down to your
that's the goal.
with some really long locks down to your waist.
I don't know if it's getting much longer than this, but see.
Either way, it looks absolutely amazing. Great job, you guys, and we're gonna go ahead and log off. So thank you all for tuning in to another featured stream with the Taser Gold League. Saying hello to what I'm sure is Ethan and Luke's friends. But
Bye,
thanks for
Taser
tuning in, and catch you.